I've got some really exciting news. Uh, I'm really ecstatic and thrilled. I'm going to be writing not true crime for a change, um, a football book. But this guy was a huge hero to myself and millions of Celtic supporters worldwide. Alan Thompson, a lot of you remember him. Guy who was sent off against them, the Old Firm derby, 3 times. He was always in the headlines, front paper, back paper. Where do I start with Alan Thompson? He came to the club when I was 20 and left when I was 27. You know, I loved the centenary season as a kid when I was an 8-year-old boy. But this is this Alan Thompson was part of the team that was the most successful, certainly in my lifetime. When Alan Thompson was at the club, I was going up to games in the double figures with the Teesside Supporters Club, the John Hart's and Loftus Supporters Club. So I'm quite aware of Alan Thompson's story. I know how much of a magnificent player he was for Celtic. I know the issues he's had. Everyone remembers him getting sent off against when he put his head to Peter Lovenkrands. There's so many good memories of Alan Thompson. Scoring against Bayern Munich, scoring many goals against Rangers. He always seemed to be involved in Rangers, the Old Firm derby, whether he was scoring 25 yards in top corners to getting sent off or winding the fans up. Huge player. You know, obviously a lot of people remember him for scoring that goal, which Celtic beat Liverpool in 2003. It was the UEFA Cup quarter-final. Beat a magnificent Liverpool team that was full of your Gerrards and your Michael Owens. Celtic went and so Alan Thompson was very much part of the squad. And I always wondered, I wondered why he'd never ever done a book. When the majority have, I've read Petrov's, I read John Hartson's. Who else? Chris Sutton's done a book. Neil Lennon's done a book. Yeah, that a lot of the Seville squad, if you like. You know, they've all, and Alan Thompson. Yes, he came to the club, managed a little bit, but he's kind of been off the scene, and I'm absolutely ecstatic. I really am. I'm really genuinely excited that I'm going to be writing his story. Obviously, one, because I'm a writer and I'm looking to get away from the true crime elements. You know, I want to be going into the actors, the sports. I mean, I've got Alex Reid lined up. I'm going to be sitting down with Ricky Burns when he retires. And obviously, I'm like anybody who knows me. I have Scottish parents, lived in Scotland when I was young. I'm like the biggest Celtic fan in the world. Name my dogs. Colo, Georgios, who was the other one? Henrik. I had Lenny, the ginger hamster. I named my son after Neil Lennon. So I'm like, you know, I'm a huge Celtic fan. And to do Alan Thompson's book, I'm just, you know, even if I take my hat off, my Celtic supporting hat off for a minute, because I'm aware of the highs and the lows and everything that he brought to Celtic. You know, but even moving away from Celtic, if you like, I still remember him as a Premiership footballer. I remember him how good he was at Bolton. I remember the big money move to Aston Villa. I always thought that even though how magnificent he was for Celtic, he kind of went out like, you know, everyone's, you know, John Hartson and Lennon and Larson and Paul Lambert, they got games. And Alan Thompson kind of just seemed to have went out the back door. And it was quite disappointing because he was a magnificent player. And I want to be getting these stories from Alan. You know, he finished his career at Leeds. The lads in our publishing company are big Leeds fans. I spoke to Josh Warrington this morning, the world champion boxer, and he said he was a right player, which is probably Yorkshire for like really good. You know, and I'm just really, I'm just absolutely thrilled that I can, you know, I have spoken to a few footballers over the years. I don't live too far from Bernie Slaven, and Bernie Slaven's written more books than me. He's probably up there with probably Bernie. If you're watching, you're probably harming the Amazon rainforest with the amount of books you've done. Spoke to Jonathan Woodgate not long back, and you know, even though it'd be a brilliant story, he said I've got too many skeletons in my closet. So I am, you know, regardless of whether I'm a Celtic fan, I'm a massive football fan, sports fan in general, and it's an absolute massive honour for me to. I know a lot of people. I've just literally put it on Twitter now, and like every Celtic supporter in the world following me, and they're like, "Oh God, yeah, Alan Thompson." And I had a look last night, and the amount of comments that Alan just put something on last night on Twitter, which was just brief, saying I'm going to be doing a book. And the feedback, he hasn't even been on Twitter that long as well. And the feedback he got was just like, you know, like, yeah, you know, I imagine there's for selling a book, I think it would be massive. I think there's people in Boston, Canada, all part of the Celtic family. I think people like Rod Stewart will be buying this book. And as I said, I'm just really thrilled, and I know I'm going to do it justice. So yeah, you can keep following the channel to for more updates on the name of the book. Forgive me, sorry, I'm getting a bit carried away. I was talking to Alan, and obviously he had an absolute wonderful left foot. Could have opened a tin of beans. There wasn't many I can think of. Maybe Nakamura, that was about it. You know, but yeah, Tommy Burns was good as well. But he was really special with some of the goals he scored. Alan Thompson didn't seem to score like tap-ins. They were always like worldies. And yeah, I've already spoken to Alan. He's told me lots and lots of stories, and I've just been like, wow. But the name of the book is going to be called, I mean, Alan was two minds on calling it My Left Foot. That was the reason I went into that left foot story there. You have to forgive me, I took a lot of blows to the head when I was young. But the name he's come up with, which I think really captures the whole story, and that's going to be a Geordie boy. I think it was just a Geordie boy, or a Geordie boy. For those who don't know, Bhoy, Bhoy, is Celtic's nickname, and Geordie is obviously he's from Newcastle. He's a proud Geordie. So I think that really sums his title up, and it's not going to be a Celtic book as much as I'd like to. You know, as much as I'd probably say, just forget about the rest, Alan. You know, I know you signed for Celtic in September 2000. Just tell me about from September 2000 to 2007. But yeah, you know, it's going to be all about, you know, I mean, Paul Merson was quite vocal in putting his book that he thought Aston Villa was too much of a big club for Alan Thompson, which to sum it up, basically Alan Thompson left Aston Villa for an even bigger club. So I think that answers that. And yeah, I know there's a lot of stories that Alan wants to really put out, but yeah, it's a really exciting story, and he lived the dream. I mean, I've just finished. I did a book last year called Every Boy's Dream, which was Steve Wraith from Newcastle, and the title of that book was Every Boy's Dream. And the reason that was he got to do Every Boy's Dream. It might not have been the next Jackie Milburn, next number 9 or whatever, but he got to work for Newcastle, and it was a dream. Alan Thompson lived the dream. You know, I'm sure he probably supported Newcastle as a kid, but he grew up to earn a fantastic living doing something that he, I mean, he's one of everyone's very aware of the very famous Wallsend Boys clubs. I'll just give you some examples of that. I mean, it's phenomenal, really, when you think of such a little youth club in Tyneside produced Alan Shearer, Alan Thompson, who were the other ones, Michael Carrick, and there was one more. All played for England. I can't remember. Was it Steve Watson or it might have been Lee Clark or something? Anyway, and yeah, it was. It's so. What's the story behind him? As I said, it's every boy's dream. He got to do something that millions and millions of young boys did, and I'm just really looking forward to sitting down with Alan. The forwards done by. We did talk about a few people, and he's already asked Sir Martin O'Neill, in my opinion. Obviously, one of Celtic's most successful ever managers. He brought Alan to the club, and obviously he was the boss of the Seville run, so he's going to be doing the forward. So yeah, I think it's going to be absolute massive, and I'm really, really thrilled. And I think Alan's got 2 books in him. I really do. Yeah, but yeah, if anyone wants to get in contact, any more information, I'm going to be just making a Facebook page in a minute. It's going to be called Alan Thompson. It's going to be called a Geordie Boy Alan Thompson. And you can find out more information there. We're looking to be, obviously it's down to Boris for the lockdown at the minute, but I think I've got Mick Sorby's out in March the 12th. I think we're maybe possibly providing lockdowns a lot better, maybe working on this in April. So I think this will be out for certainly by Christmas. I know a lot of people say, Jamie, you bang books out left, right, and centre, and I'm probably as bad as Bernie Slavin. But no, this is a book where I'd really just be like, do you know what? Because I've got a lot of work in front of me. I've got so much work in front of me where I've just been this chance of this come up. Obviously there was a few things we had to negotiate and iron out, but I was just like, do you know what? That can fuck off. That can fuck off. I was just like, wow. Do you know what I mean? So yeah. Absolutely thrilled and honoured. So Alan Thompson, a Geordie Boy, is going to be coming back end of 2021, and I'm absolutely thrilled, honoured, over the moon, jumping through hoops, pardon the pun, to be given this opportunity to write such a. I was a supporter. I went up and I watched everything. As I said, sometimes would go to maybe 10 games a season, and I saw everything of that really exciting time. I remember the losing the league on the last day of the season, 2003. I remember Helicopter Sunday, 2005, losing the league in the last couple of minutes, and just going to lay down on the settee, and I just couldn't talk for hours. So I'm like, it's okay being a fan. I remember them so well. I forgot, didn't buy the Daily Record for months, turn the telly off. I didn't want to see Nacho Novo celebrating. So it was almost like it never happened. But, I remember, and many of us were watching this, Celtic fans think, fucking hell, I remember that. But what was it like in the dressing room? And I was talked briefly last night on Alan, and he was telling me, I watched his interview with Cy Ferry on a podcast. And he said that was the hardest one to take. People just couldn't even speak. But yeah, as anyone who's read any of my other 19 books, I'm going to be thorough. I'm going to be doing a book plan of Alan. I'm going to be going through a fine-tooth comb of his career, of his life. There's certain things that I asked him, and I said maybe it might not. And he said no. He said I'll be honest, and he has had his issues with certain things that none of matters. I'm not going to say on here, I'll let Alan, to put them in the book, but I don't think he's going to dodge anything, and I think no stone's going to be left unturned. So I always keep forgetting. It's just because we've had that many ideas in our head. My left foot, a Geordie Boy, a very Geordie Boy, just a Geordie Boy, but I think it's going to be a Geordie Boy hyphen Alan Thompson. So yeah, absolutely thrilled with this, guys. Don't forget to leave your comments and reviews below. The world's not a very nice place at the minute, so if you're offended by my hair, give us a break. There's no barbers open. I did say to my wife, I watched The Joker not long back, and I said, you know what, I'm going to have that hair forever. And she's like, Jamie, are you aware that Joaquin Phoenix got that look because he was researching a mental patient? I was like, I just keep it for the trolls. But yeah, it's not a very nice place. So if you want to leave any bad review, have a day off there. But thank you so much for your support, guys. Get a lot of nice messages these days. And I'm just hoping that, I said to my publisher today, I said, you know something, I said, if I still get like all the negative, certain thing, which I understand, because when I've written books on some of the characters, they weren't very nice people. So, it's always going to bring out mixed emotions doing on the characters I have. There was a lot of victims left, and I said to him, I said, maybe if I'm hated in a year's time, it'd probably just be because of my personality. But yeah, thank you so much. Don't forget to click and subscribe. God bless. On the hoops.